I have a few questions for you, Chris, that I think will really benefit our community. Number one question is, what would you suggest, and what's your wisdom for preparing for an esoteric acupuncture treatment?
Excellent question. Really, the only thing you need to bring to an esoteric acupuncture treatment is an open mind. Maybe an open heart's a good idea too, but just an open mind to what's going to happen, what experience. Just be open to the experiences that are going to unfold with the treatment. Might be a good idea to come if you have a specific intention in mind, or maybe you have some internal questions about yourself. These aren't things you necessarily have to ask the practitioner, but something you come with in your mind and in your heart that you want to choose to explore as we try to, make the boundaries a little wider in your life experience. The only one thing we would mention about being mindful of with treatment is, because this is designed to be a consciousness expanding experience. Taking psychedelic drugs, maybe avoid that a week or more before the treatment. Although esoteric acupuncture is very safe, it's not going to go beyond a level you're prepared to go. It's designed in such a way as to only go as far as you're ready for, and as far as you're willing to go. But with psychedelic drugs still in the system, it can these boundaries can be pushed a little bit. So just to be on the safe side, it's best to avoid that. But otherwise, open-mindedness is the best preparation.
What about food, diet, or any other habits? Like, I'm assuming you wouldn't want someone to show up with their hungover or had a martini for lunch.
Yeah. Even doing like the so-called regular acupuncture, treating people with hangovers, or if they've been imbibing before, is not a good idea. But plus, these things are all sort of like depressants on the system, right? So if we want to sort of push the limits on these things, you're already coming with a hindrance. Like, you wouldn't show up to a sporting event if you're going to like run a 100-meter dash after just literally just finishing like a Big Mac and fries and stuff, right? It's not. It's just not ideal, right?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying, just to recap, is come in with some type of personal intention, be open to the experience, keep your diet relatively clean, be mindful. This is a expansion experience, a consciousness expansion experience. And if you've taken any of the psychedelics, either in a medicinal or
recreational
experience, try to probably best to give it a week or so. So you're going in fresh, basically. Right.
Yeah. You want, and the main thing, just be open to the experience that's going to unfold.
Well, that's my next question. Is a lot of people ask, well, what's going to happen during my esoteric acupuncture? So how would you answer that? Or how do you answer that to your clients?
That's a very good question. I always answer that with results may vary. There's a wide spectrum of what can happen. I try not to color my clients' expectations with what might happen, but it could be as simple as, it could be a very calm, peaceful, rejuvenating, relaxing experience, all the way to a incredibly, eye-opening psychedelic journey. And probably several
without
things.
The psychedelic, you mean?
Yeah, without the psychedelic. Yeah. It's very like, mind expanding.
The needles are not.
Yeah, the needles have not been dipped in anything. We're not injecting anything. We're not pumping anything into the room during the treatment. Yeah, none of that at all. But then again, the power of human experience is quite impressive. A lot of people sometimes think, oh, I need this to work better, or I need, like, even the idea of artificial intelligence. Computers can do it better. I think we have untapped potential that has not yet been explored, and I would take that into these kind of ideas into the treatment. During the treatment, can be wide variety of things happen, but I would just try to. One thing I do recommend my clients do with esoteric acupuncture is try to stay awake for the whole treatment. Often acupuncture can be quite relaxing, esoteric acupuncture included. And often people will drift off into a little nap or be in that half in, half out state. But if you can stay awake and just sort of try and be aware of what's happening, because with esoteric acupuncture, certain doors are being opened, certain information may start to come through to you. It's best to try and be aware and cognizant, be mindful of just what's happening.
Just to maximize your experience.
Yeah, exactly. And also to keep in mind that the treatment isn't only what occurs in that 1 hour or 90-minute or whatever the session length is going to be. The energetic grids that are set up are now there. So as the consciousness unfolds, this may unfold over time, over days, over maybe even a few weeks after. So just be present with what's going on, because these things can unfold over time. It's not just strictly limited to what happens in the treatment room.
That's very good. Thank you. And my last question is, what is your recommendations for post-treatment? And what I mean by that is, how can we keep the work happening? Because a shift occurs during your session. So how do you keep it going?
Whether the shift is very subtle and seemingly minor to whether it's maybe a major shift, during the treatment, I always advise my clients, just be aware of what they're experiencing. Maybe they're feeling things in their body. Maybe they're looking and seeing things in a new way. But often what's also going to happen is the so-called aha moments, where you're like, oh, I've made just crystallizations and connections happen in your own mind that make you realize things about yourself, about your behavior, about maybe the health condition you're being treated for. Just be aware of these changes and work with them. And the other thing is the second thing I would recommend is just be gentle with be with yourself as these things unfold as well. Esoteric acupuncture is heart-centered, and a heart-centered approach, we're trying to build up that feeling, the love frequency, the unconditional love frequency. And the major aspects of the frequency of love are truth, forgiveness, and an attitude of being non-judgmental. And these aren't just things for you to keep in mind when dealing with the outside world and other people. It's also for yourself. You want to trust in the truth of what you're experiencing and what you're seeing and thinking. You want to have a sense of forgiveness, not just for those you think may have wronged you, but forgiveness for your own actions and your own the own things you've done in the past. And also not judge yourself so harshly about these things, because as we expand our consciousness, we may start to look back at our past actions and things we've done in our history that may not be, we may not look upon so kindly. Like certain beliefs we have about ourselves in life may shift, but it's not to shift in such a way that we're supposed to be punishing ourselves for past behaviors. We want to forgive and transcend these things.
Which falls into the whole idea of why somebody would do esoteric acupuncture, and it's to know thyself. So yes. I'm hearing what you're saying, and the experience offers us an opportunity to expand our consciousness, and then we can have hopefully some wisdom given to us from ourselves, really, isn't it?
100% from ourselves. Yeah.
How to show up better in this world, right? And what I'm hearing you saying is to have trust and to forgive. It's all to cultivate deeper peace for ourselves. So we are, isn't it true that we have an opportunity to be love and to express love, and that is how we change the world?
Yes, so beautifully said there, Tanya. Thank you. Because we can be love, and it's great to be that for other people, to have other people be able to trust us, other people come to love us. But it's also so empowering to be that for ourselves as well, to love it, for people who don't, may not have the self-love, may have the self-loathing, right? Don't trust themselves. How empowering is it when you can start, I trust the decisions I'm making for myself. I trust that these are right for me. I trust that what I'm experiencing is what I'm actually experiencing. It's so much harder to be manipulated. It's so much harder to be, the gaslighting that goes on these days is crazy. But if you are grounded in yourself and can trust yourself, it's much more difficult for others to start to play you like a chess piece, right?
Thank you,
Thank you,
Chris,
Tanya.
for your wisdom.
Thank you, Tanya.